everybody, and welcome again to another episode of the Risk Matrix with James Junkin.
Roll
Hi, James.
Tide.
Roll Tide. And myself, Dr. Martin. We're here to follow on a last episode that we created on the topic of mental health and stress and what it does to your body. And we're going to follow on today with things we can do to help our situation so that we're in the positive column when it comes to taking care of ourselves. So before we do that, everybody knows we're powered by Veriforce, but every week we are sponsored by a different sponsor. So let's take a second and listen to the message from our sponsor.
Veriforce is proud to announce the latest version of our Safeland USA accredited course called Basic Orientation 7.0. This is our flagship course that has been taken by over 1.6 million students nationwide. The newest version of this course is shorter than the last version, with condensed training and updated multimedia, but it still includes the same topics as previous courses. As always, the Safeland orientation remains with the employee through the career. It eliminates the redundancy of multiple orientations, and it stores all the training records in a single centralized database for everyone to use. Also, we offer two solutions for getting the training. You can either seek out Safeland training from one of our third-party providers, or you can send one of your instructors through our Train the Trainer program to teach your own employees. If you're interested in learning more, please contact our training sales department at 888-482-9101. That's 888-482-9101. Or you can email us at trainingsales@veriforce.com.
And welcome back. Here we are, James, talking
I,
about
I want to show you something, though, Dr. Martin.
Okay, go ahead.
One of my staff, one of our vice presidents, Mariner Gulf, got me the best Christmas present, and it's going to stay up all year because we didn't get from Santa the year we wanted in Alabama, but we did get an Alabama Christmas tree. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that is
Cool.
pretty
But the
cool.
other Christmas ornaments are down.
Mardi
We
Gras.
just took our tree down first of January, so we're good to go. We're rolling towards Valentine's Day. You see all that stuff in the store already?
Yeah. Hey, before Christmas, like Christmas Eve, I had to run out and get something from the pharmacy. They already had the Valentine's Day stuff out, and Santa had not come yet.
Oh my. Yeah.
Crazy.
I've seen
Crazy.
it here, but we're now into January, so I don't think that's quite as bad. But um let's talk a little bit. Let's follow on that previous episode that we had, James, where we talked about taking care of one's health, both mentally and physically. You had a health scare around Christmas time, a pretty bad one, that could have cost you a fair amount of your leg, had it not been stopped in time. That's sort of be dramatic. But in that episode, we talked about the kinds of things that lead us down this path of negative self-care, right? And by negative self-care, I mean just doing things that kind of continually put tiny little chinks in our armor, such that when we go down, we really go down hard, and it's hard to recoup our health, right? And so if you haven't listened to that episode, strongly recommend, first of all, go back and listen to all our episodes, because we've got almost 100 of them coming up on 2 years here with the Risk Matrix. Do that. But if you want to listen to this episode and you really want to kind of hone in on what we're talking about today, go back and listen to our last episode in January here, and then revisit this one. So James, let's talk about things you can do and things that you've done to make the score positive in your favor.
Well, let's talk about that. The previous episode, we talked about all the things that are stressors in safety professionals' lives. Now, every job has stress, right? And I'm not saying that safety professionals have a job that's any more stressful than the job of a tradesperson or a CEO, or, short of being in active combat. I think we can say those people have the most stressful jobs that are out there. But there are things that happen in the workplace that build up in cumulative stress, and that's not good for your physical health, right? And many of us, and like I said in the last episode, what I really mean is me. Okay. Neglect self-care. And that's self-care from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint, right? So if you're just listening to us and you're not going to go back and listen to the other episode, I had a scare around Christmas where I ended up with this sore on my foot that I neglected. Next thing you know, I've got staph infection to my knee, and they're talking about amputation and cutting things off. And I told the nurse, if you got to cut it off, I want a peg leg so I can be like a pirate. Does it come with a pirate patch? And she said, "You're not taking this serious enough. Once we start cutting things off, we're not going to stop."
And they don't stop, right? I mean, and I've seen that in folks in my life that once they cut a little, they go a little bit farther every time, and it's hard to keep up. So
So
I'm just glad that we got you healthy, and
yeah, man.
give us some insight
Only way to
into
recover.
what you're doing and what you didn't do that you're going to do now.
Well, one of the things that I didn't do is I always found a reason not to go to the doctor. Right? I didn't do a good job of watching my diet and what I took in when we travel. Carbohydrates are not my friend.
It
They're
tastes
not
good
my
going
friend.
down, but they're not your friend when you have other health
So
issues.
infections and high sugar does not go together. And so this was just, I suffered the consequences of neglecting self-care. And I hope this message is coming out to folks. In the previous episode, we talked about all the things that build up to that, whether it's the stress of doing fatality and serious injury investigations, or the stress of having to fight with management and moral crises and things of that nature. And those all build stresses upon safety professionals and people in risk management and frontline leaders and things of that nature. But here's the consequences. Okay. Burnout and turnover. You can only take so much. So all this is cumulative. So if you don't take care of it and you neglect it, then you have chronic stress that leads to really a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. That you can start to see it. Now, I didn't experience this part of it, but increased absenteeism, reduced productivity, those things. And then people quit. And if you see in the safety profession, we have a high turnover rate. And maybe that's one of the reasons we have a higher turnover rate, is because we're not doing the things either organizationally or as an individual to promote self-care. Impaired judgment and decision making. That's all a byproduct of neglecting your self-care and mental health. If you're not on top of your game, how can you lead the safety organization? If you're not taking care of you, how can you bring others home safe from high hazard jobs? So, there's a lot of things that went into me ending up in the hospital, and that resulted in me having to come up with $5,000 initially, is what the copay is so far. Got that good Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, took care of the rest of it, but still, that was an unexpected healthcare cost right at Christmas I wasn't expecting to pay. And
Right.
what's that about? Ignoring things, letting them build, coming up with excuses to not take care of me while I'm out there trying to take care of other people. So like I said in the last episode, this episode is really me preaching at me, but hopefully it resonates with some of y'all that are out there that are going through some of the same things as well. Because, it can have not only a negative impact on you personally, it can have a negative impact on your overall organizational safety culture, right? If you're leading that and you're constantly stressed and you're constantly behind and you're feeling all that, man, it's time to take a time out because you're not helping, you're really hurting.
So let me add this in here. We mentioned this on the last episode, and we did an episode on it. When is the time to go, right? And you know, certainly we gave a lot of good advice, opinions on when it's time to go, key markers of you know, in being in a safety position that's really stressing you out, or you can't make a difference or whatever. But here's what I would say is if you're going to take a time out and you're going to do something for yourself, do not carry those problems with you into the next position. Be choosier about the position, make sure that some of these stressors that you're putting on yourself aren't carried into the new job, or you're just going to have like a cascading effect both on your health and on your career.
What I found works for me, because I can't go get another job, I'm the boss. I don't want another job. I love my job and I love what I do. So I got to figure out how to do my job while also prioritizing self-care. And so laying up the hospital, you got a lot of time. Everybody's got their phone. They got really good high-speed internet, right? So I can Google on how we're going to do this. And one of the things I came across was something you wrote about in your dissertation, which is mindfulness coupled with stress reduction techniques, right? Just take, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes out of the day that you do it. So I didn't know a lot about meditation, mindfulness meditation, but it's basically just clearing your mind, right? Even short 5 to 10 minute sessions, if you have, can have a noticeable impact on your stress levels throughout the day. And I found out, because I don't know anything about meditation, but I'm learning, that I can go online and there's a lot of apps or things on YouTube that you can get that are free that can help you focus on that 5 to 10 minutes where you just say, I'm pausing.
I'm pausing, I'm listening, I'm scanning my body, I'm looking for being where I'm tense, I'm looking for where I'm having problems. I'm thinking a little bit more about myself and my feelings and all of those things. And they really are 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, and there are so many places that you can get these. You know, even if you don't have a guided meditation, 5 minutes is enough. As long as you set aside that time and forego all other stimulation.
I also found out deep breathing exercises. So I don't got to go change everything I do and stop doing what I love. I just need to put some time within the day, and all of us got 5 to 10 minutes, you know, 5 to 10 minutes, simple deep breathing exercises, a walk real quick at lunchtime or something of that nature. That's a lot better than grabbing, you know, from a fast food joint and throwing down 4,000 calories of all carbohydrates right at lunchtime. And, you know, so, hey, it's just about making choices. And I'm going to make the individual choice that I can do this because I'm not stressed out, but I do got a lot going on. And because
You've heard.
I have a lot going on and I like to work and do those things, I've neglected stuff like routine doctor's visits, right? Self-care like that. Not taking time on vacations and things. So it's just little things. You don't have to get a master's degree in psychology to figure this stuff out, right? It's pretty simple. And then there was another one I came across that can help reduce stress. It's something I like to do because I like to write, right? Regular journaling. You can put it down. It helps you process your emotions and identify triggers for stress. So rather than saying it and getting yourself in trouble with HR, you can vent to the paper or you can type it on your phone or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool.
And a lot of times that helps you self-analyze and come up with solutions as you're doing that inner searching, right? Now, I just want to jump back a little bit. You know, you mentioned the 4,000 calorie lunch, right? Because you know, my mom always said garbage in, garbage out, right? my writing professors always said garbage in, garbage out, right? So that goes for everything in your life, right? So if you're garbaging in, not taking care of yourself, not taking those mindfulness sessions, not scheduling your doctor's appointment or your dentist appointments, or staying for family time, that's all garbage in. That's garbage in. That's in the negative column. And you can't expect anything but garbage out. But if you put in good things, right? You start putting in time with your family, your vacations, your eating well or eating at least better, not smoking, not drinking a lot. Everything that harms your body is a plus. Is it not doing it is a plus. So, think of it as a pro con column. You want that pro column pretty high so that it protects you in times of stress.
So, that healthy diet combined with regular exercise. Now, regular exercise, physical activity doesn't mean physical fitness. I have no desire to run a marathon. Those days are over. I'm 52. I'm running to the mailbox and back. That's it, right? But walking, things of that nature can help, your brain release endorphins that are natural mood boosters that alleviate stress and anxiety and depression. It gives you mood regulation. Exercise, improves sleep quality. So as we're planning for 2025, again, I'm not going to stop doing things that I do and love, right? I love volunteering. I love being a consultant. But what I am going to do is budget time for all these other activities and put them on equal importance as the work activities that I love, right? I'm not a big fan of jogging. Do I look like I'm a jogger? Okay. But
No.
it's a goal to try to get up to that, right? And so walking, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, but nutrition plays
Just
a
a little
vital
bit.
role, in physical and mental health. And the problem with safety professionals sometimes is, particularly when we're in the field, you just grab and go, grab and go, grab and go, grab something on
10-hour day, you're not gonna go to the gym, you're not gonna get up at 4 a.m. and go before you go to the job site. You're just not gonna do it, right?
So you
But
got to
you
plan
can,
for it.
you gotta plan for it,
You
right?
got to
But you
plan for it.
can if you plan for it.
So that's what I'm doing, because poor nutrition can exacerbate stress, cognitive function. It weakens the immune system. I didn't realize that, right? And so part of the reason this infection spread is because I had a weakened immune system. Why did I have a weakened immune system? Because I had high sugar. Why did I have high sugar? Because I love French fries. And it's easier just to be out seeing a client or a customer or something of that nature, go into a speaking engagement, go in the field, whip through a fast food joint and grab fast food. And next thing you know, you're a type 2 diabetic. All right. Now, this next one I struggle with, and that's getting adequate sleep. Okay. Sleep is a necessity. It is not a luxury. It is a fundamental biological necessity for optimal physical and mental health. So the lack of sleep can be cumulative, according to my doctor, right? And that's where you get run down. Your overall well-being comes into play. Your body's not getting enough rest, so you become more susceptible to viruses and infections and things of that nature. And then on the mental health side, errors and burnout, and you can even get serious health problems from not sleeping. So I asked my doctor what were some keys to developing a good strategy for getting better sleep quality. Because when I sleep, I go to bed and I wake up. And then when I wake up, I'm done. Right?
Yep.
For at least 3 or 4 hours. So I come in, what do you do at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? You either Netflix and chill and snack, or you go back to work if you do a bunch of writing stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my schedule. So he said, we got to get rid of that and establish a regular sleep schedule. That
And a
means
bedroom and a bedtime routine.
that's
Cut
it.
off,
Go to
cut
bed.
off the technology.
Cut out the technology. He said that first of all, even on the weekends, pick a time to go to bed, pick a time to get up. And you need more than 5 to 6 hours a night.
Yep. Fix the lighting, fix the
And that
breathing.
and that can be very challenging for safety professionals, not just James, when you work, for example, 12-hour shifts. You know,
Or
just
you
because
have
you
people
clock out at
contacting
6
you.
p.m., if you work 6 to 6, doesn't mean you go right to bed at 6:30, right?
Yeah. Or you have people contacting you on all different hours. If you have global clients or clients across the country, right? My day doesn't stop at 5 o'clock Eastern. Never stops at 5 o'clock Eastern, because you're at least you're in Central, and then I have people in Mountain and coastal time, right? And some people in other countries. So my day doesn't stop, and I have a bad habit of when I wake up, I look at my phone, and then when I get on the phone and I start going through emails at 2 o'clock in the morning, like I did last night, I don't get back to sleep.
And my doctor would tell you, don't do that. He said, first of all, put that phone down. Okay. You've got to establish a relaxing bedtime routine. And that means, if you take a bath or read a book or listen to music, something that's signaling the body that it's time to wind down.
Right.
And you got to do it every day. It has to be routine. So what I've been doing, of course, is I'm answering emails and stuff, responding to text messages, playing on my phone all the way up till I turn the light off. And then when I wake up in the middle of the night, what's the first thing next to bed?
Pick it right up.
Right? Check email, see if anything's going on. When I get up in the morning, what's the first thing?
Check your emails.
So we got to break this dependency on the phone while still fulfilling our obligations. And then we're going to talk a little bit about setting barriers that he told me to do. So he said, optimize the sleep environment, make sure it's dark, quiet, cool. If you got to get blackout curtains, for those of you, I got a friend, I don't know how he does this. He works night shifts, but then they swing back to days.
Yeah, that swing shift stuff is hard. That's
So
hard on the
2 weeks
body.
on nights, 2 weeks on days, and I don't know how he does it. But Doc said, get you some earplugs, a white noise machine. I to help me sleep, I got a little app on my phone, and I put in YouTube and just listen to a fan run. Some of y'all have fans that run all the time. My
White
plug
noise.
doesn't get over there like that, and I get cold, so I just listen to the fan and the white noise in the back. That helps me relax and lay down. And then, if you're still having trouble sleeping, there might be some underlying health condition that you need to consult your healthcare professional about. Could be, some type of COPD or sleep apnea or something of that nature. And that can all be affecting your sleep quality. Number 2, set boundaries. And this is probably the hardest thing for me is saying no.
Well,
Okay.
set boundaries, and then if you're not good at setting boundaries, have an accountability partner. Sometimes that's your wife, your business partner, somebody else. I think James, you and I would be poor accountability partners because we have the same type of habits. So I'd probably let it slide as you would let it slide with me. But accountability sometimes with your family, and then be open to it, right? If you have somebody that's going to be your accountability partner, you have to be open to their feedback and
So it's like,
responsive.
I think that begins with clearly defining what your work hours are, unless there's an emergency. But most times the emails I get is not an emergency. It could have waited till I got up. There's no need to respond to an email to somebody at 11 o'clock at night. They're probably not reading it because they've got good sleep routine and they set boundaries and they went to bed and they're asleep, right? So
You need to define emergency and then make people aware of what an emergency is to you.
I think also if if you work from home, and this is one of the things I talked to my doctor about. If you work from home, you need to have a workspace and keep that workspace separate from where your relaxation areas are. So don't work on the sofa, not at the kitchen table. You need to separate work and leisure time. And when work's done, you need to be done. So if you say, I'm going to work from 6 to 6, okay. But at 6, you're done. And I thought that was good advice. Good advice. The other thing he mentioned was checking your emotional availability. And what he meant was, don't take on more than you can handle, right? Be willing to say no for opportunities if you're going to have to sacrifice time that you're using for self-care, right?
For care of your loved ones, because emotional availability goes towards your loved ones too. And if you use it all up, there's nothing left.
That's right. And, you could seek professional help if you needed to. If you're starting to really have all these stressors and mental health issues and all, and I didn't exhibit any of that. Really what my issue was physical, right? Because I neglected self-care on the physical, right? But those are just some ideas, things that my doctors and my research came up with that can help me. Having a support network, an accountability partner like you talked about, that can keep you accountable for us that are workaholics to take some time.
Yeah, on the straight and narrow.
Absolutely. And have a hobby. He said, what do you like to do? I said, I like to watch Alabama football. He said, y'all are doing terrible this year. I said, man, we went 9-3. How's that terrible? Yeah, but you didn't make the college football playoffs. So, he said, that's not a hobby. Okay. Have something that brings you joy and relaxation, that can help counterbalance the stress at work.
Maybe takes you out, gets you a little physical. I mean, mine's biking, so I do that. I wanted to jump back too, James, to when you said, make time for those doctor's visits. Listen to your doctor, and as we get older, and I've seen this in my own care because I'm in my 50s, get those tests that they recommend, right? Get your blood test taken because, like you said, high sugar, high blood pressure, all those things hit you in your 50s. And sometimes you can be the fittest person possible, but you may have something underlying that's going on. So listen to your doctor, get the test done, do it on a regular basis, and keep on top of all these habits that we're talking about. Because, doing it once in a while does not put a positive in the positive column. It puts a very small positive in the positive column, and maybe even will work against you in the long run.
So my advice is to myself and others, set boundaries, take care of your workers, fulfill your obligations, but work in time for self-care. Do not delay your own care. Work will always be here, right? I'm going to keep doing the same things I've always done and probably take on more responsibilities. But when I do so, I'm going to have a calendar that has calendar time. What I found, if I don't put it on my calendar, it's easy for me to blow it off, right? So as we're planning for 2025, and that's why I wanted to do this episode early, while everybody's planning for 2025, book your vacations and go on them. Turn your phone off. Have some time at night where it's time to go to bed. It's time to go to bed. Put your phone away. That way you can get good sleep. It'll all be there in the morning, barring some type of emergency. And I know with safety professionals, we got to deal with all that, right? And then, have an emotional, or what you said, an accountability partner to help you along the way. Because a bunch of people are about to start fitness programs in the new year. And I don't know how fitness clubs stay open because it's like grand opening in January and grand closing in February, right? You sign up all these, they must get a years long contract because I pass by the gym and I see it's packed in January, and when I drive past in March, there's like 4 people there. So figure out what fits your lifestyle, your area of activities you want. Get up and do something, because all this stress and lack of self-care and not seeing the doctor and things, they can build up. And have a cumulative effect that can put you in the hospital.
Create positive habits and shore up for the future. So with that, James, what can our listeners do if they want to hear more about this topic and on other topics?
You can go on over to Veriforce's YouTube channel or on Spotify and check out the risk matrix. We are quickly approaching our 100th episode. And if you've got some ideas of what you'd like us to do on our 100th episode, we'd like to hear from you about that. But hey, hit that like button, hit subscribe. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Your New Year's resolution should be, I'm going to listen to and watch the risk matrix every week. That can be part of your relaxing routine right before you go to bed. Just get me and Dr. Martin on there, and I'm sure we'll put you to sleep.
Put you right to sleep. And thanks as always for listening to us. Reach out if you ever have any questions. We're both on LinkedIn. You can get us through Veriforce. You can comment on any of these episodes on Spotify or Veriforce YouTube, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to be a guest, let us know if you got something great to talk about. But thanks for listening. And James, you want to take us out?
Until next time, roll tide, baby. We're back in the playoffs 2025. It's coming. Y'all keep bringing those workers home safe from high hazard jobs. And while you're doing that, take care of you too. Out.
That's right. Out.